Hello, I'm Derin Adetosoye, an Adobe insider, and today I have the pleasure of speaking to one of the nominees of this year's BAFTA Film Awards. Now, I'm joined with Mikkel E.G Nielsen, who is being nominated for his work on The Sound of Metal, which is a film that looks into the story of a drummer who loses his hearing. And let me just say, the storytelling in this film is phenomenal. So, Mikkel, a huge thank you for joining us today, and a huge congratulations on this nomination. Could you firstly talk us through what this creative journey was like for you, working on a film where the importance of storytelling and the vision was so key?
Well, thank you for having me. Absolutely. I was approached by Darius, the director, who had all these visions about trying to get into the head of our main character with sound. And also we would close caption the film so the deaf community would have an experience as a whole, and we as hearing people would feel left out like they would normally see it. So he was like really trying to raise the bar. The actors didn't meet until the scenes they were actually doing and stuff like that. And this is his first feature film, which is very rare that you have all these high expectations. And I felt like maybe if we can achieve 50, 60, 70% of this, that would be amazing. But Darius was just an incredible collaborator in terms of allowing people with a craft to try and bring their own craft to the table, which means that he would allow me to be to try all these different things that I have been fooling around with in my entire career, where you like put things in your toolbox and you learn certain small tricks from one film or music video or commercial or whatever it is. And the same goes for the sound designer Nicolas, who's Paris-based. He did the same with him, and the same go for the costume designer and the DP, and it just goes everywhere. And then when I was approached, they were in the middle of the shoot. They had a week back, and he was searching for an editor. He had seen a previous work that I had done called Beast of No Nation, which also tells the story from the perspective of a kid. And then he was searching for an editor who would challenge him in the process of the storytelling and how to shape this whole film. And I listened to all what his needs and what he wanted, and then I was like, okay, would you like to hear how it would be if you work with me? And he was surprised by that. He was like, this is what I've been searching for. So I said, I need the material for myself. You have been he had been like trying to develop this film for 12 years, or maybe even more.
Wow.
He knew absolutely everything about the characters. He wrote Lou's story, the whole Lou story. He probably wrote like 1,500 pages on this script before actually going into the shoot. So this was just the only way that I could get, not at level, but at least just try and get my own perspective on things and see it from my table. And then there's an interesting thing, which is, if he allows me to look at the material myself and do an assembly, like a first pass, without talking too much about wishes or needs, or something has been changed from the script on set, maybe I do small mistakes, or maybe I see things a little bit differently. And sometimes these mistakes become very interesting things for the storytelling, and therefore I bring something completely new to the table.
With the pandemic, of course, we have to address it. What difference did that make to your editing process? And I have two questions with this. Firstly, being, the logistics of it all. I know that you're joining us right now from your edit suite. Is that based at home? So then on to my second question. I'd love to know more about how that actually impacted your creativity? Because I think that in 2020, we all kind of got escapism from film, TV. How did that impact your creativity on it as well?
So there's a funny thing about this whole project, because we actually finished before the whole pandemic. But what's interesting about it is that it really resonates with people right now, because it's about how we experience the world ourselves. And suddenly we're all locked at home. We cannot go in the cinemas. We cannot do all these things that we normally love. And suddenly you see this film, which is actually made before we finished everything. It was supposed to premiere right before, right when the pandemic started. So I would say, for me, it was the same. Darius created a world project, because he's an American, and normally we have European film directors who wants to go to America to work, but he's actually doing the opposite. He wanted to try and work with a sound designer in Paris. He wanted to work with me, who's in Copenhagen. Riz is from, and Lou are they're from England. We did the whole the whole sound mix in Mexico.
Wow.
The DP is from Belgium. So and Darius is very influenced by European film, and also especially Danish films, which is probably also why he reached out to me. I did work a lot alone, and what's been funny about this film, now that it gets a lot of attention and we get to meet you and talk about the film and other people, it is that Nicholas, the sound designer, and I, we worked really closely on this film together, but we've never met.
Wow.
We've never met, and we hope to meet soon. I mean, because it's such a strange thing, but that's just how it is for everyone.
It's great to see how international and diverse your team was working on this project, and how closely you worked with the sound director.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say your overall highlights have been at working on this project?
It was just a pleasure being able to work on it, and to meet everyone involved. Like it became like a family, a working family, because we were all just really having fun doing it, and like it was about turning every stone and try things, and like say, what would happen if we do like this and this and this. And for us, we worked with the whole film as 3 sections, where you have this, and it follows the sound of metal. So the sound is the first part, where Ruben loses the sense. Then the off is at the community, the deaf community, which is about becoming something and finding yourself. And the whole third part, which is where he gets his cochlears, is the metal.
So for our next generation of creatives in the Adobe community who are trying to find their feet and their creativity in this world, what advice do you have for them in terms of experimenting and trying things that are new? Because I feel like with creativity, it can sometimes be easy to be set in your ways and feel scared of stepping out of your comfort zone.
So I'm obsessed with storytelling. I'm obsessed with the idea of trying that you can actually do things with very little. And it's just about finding the key to how to try and tell it. So I would say the most fun part of it is to try and try different versions with the same material. It shouldn't be because they've been writing on the script that then it's a locked script. A script is just an idea that an actor would then add on, try all the different paths or roads down these things, because the worst thing that can happen in the edit room, and honestly, an edit room should be a safe place for everyone, because you should be allowed to have the most stupid idea, because it might be the key to something that opens up a whole new world, and you will be like, wow, that was amazing. What happened? Let's go for that. And sometimes some of the best edited films are some of the worst films that you actually look at, because the material was insanely bad, but just the fact that you can actually, it's watchable,
Yeah.
Someone has done a fantastic job, right? I was just lucky on this project that a lot of things work out but I mean, what an amazing actor Ismet is, right? You guys are so lucky to have him. But the same goes for Olivia. The same goes for the guy playing Joe and all these things. So I've just been really, really lucky with having this material. But that could go for any other project as well. We have to turn all the stones and try all the different versions.
Well, we have been lucky as viewers to be able to experience an incredible film. Mikkel, it has been such a pleasure being able to speak with you and hear more about your creative journey in all of this. So a huge congratulations once again on this nomination, and thank you for taking the time out to chat.
Well, thank you so much for having me.